I'm not sure. The Roy Keane comments? I think Ian Wright and Roy Keane was going back and forth and over like. I think what Roy was saying is that basically saying, look, talent is not enough. That he doesn't think Bruno does enough. And Ian Wright was just basically saying, even if you are going to mention someone, it's not Bruno. There's others.
The people too.
When I listen to that conversation, I see both sides. I think you can listen to both arguments, and both arguments can
both be right
at the same time. Yeah. And yeah, so because I think there was a lot of like noise about it. I think some fan base backed Roy Keane. Some fan base obviously wasn't happy with what he was saying about Bruno because they obviously thought like Bruno was a good player. But what's your thoughts on Bruno's self-entertainment and impact on the team? Do you think that, I personally, if you ask me, I don't think Bruno's here to be blamed. There's others, right? There's others, but I do get what Roy is saying. And in terms of his captaincy, one thing that annoys me about his captaincy when people talk about his captaincy is that who else is going to be captain in the team? So if you can't find me anyone else, then don't talk about his captaincy. Because if there's no one else, if you can find someone else that can be captain in the team, then, because I don't think he does anything wrong when it comes to his captaincy. He never lacks effort. Like when we need moments, he steps up in terms of like when he needs to do interviews, when people don't want to come out and do interviews, he does the interviews. Yes, it might not be the greatest captain in the world and the team might be in a bad place, but stop using his captaincy to like demolish what he does on the pitch. If you understand what I'm saying, so that's why I didn't really get what Roy Keane was coming from. To be fair, but I do get what he's saying in terms of like players are eyed, and just because you're great doesn't mean like talent is not enough. And Bruno has, as you said, he has his own disadvantages too that a lot of people don't talk about, and he definitely does. I don't like his petulant on the pitch and all those kind of things, but apart from that, I don't think Bruno is the player that we should be calling out, because he never shies away when we need someone, especially in a moment like this. You can tell people are hiding from the ball. People are always misplacing passes. Whether he misplaced passes or not, he's always going to try. So, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
So at the moment, I have zero issues with Bruno because obviously I've had issues with the way he plays or his contribution to in a certain way where I think we're trying to play, but I've had to step back recently and deep it. I'm like, actually, why am I getting angry at what I know is his weak point? Right, he's not that player. He's not that player to control a midfield. He's not a Rodri.
Like keep the tempo.
Set the tempo.
Yeah.
So why am I getting annoyed at that? Everything else he does, like the effort he puts in, what he does well, like what he knows how to do, he does very well, and he does it well all the time. The issue is when he makes those passes that he does well when he shouldn't be doing it. That gets a bit frustrating. But I already know he's not someone that's going to set the tempo of the game. So I should just stop going mad at that. It's just never going to be the case. Yeah. So I remove myself from that. And he shows up, he wants the ball, all of that stuff. So I can't really complain. I will be honest, I'm probably one of those people that complained about his captaincy, but that was a couple of years ago, or when he first became captain, because I don't like his petulance. I don't like the moaning on the pitch. I can't stand that. That's something I just can't stand as a person, right? But outside of that, he's captain. You get on with it, and it's true. If he's not captain, who are you really gonna make captain? Yeah. And sometimes I used to think that if you free him up with that, maybe he can just do a bit more on the pitch. But actually, everything else is shit. Everyone else is shit, right? If we up the levels, especially, I think on the wings with the ability that Bruno has, I think we go up a level. You give it to a winger that is making the right decisions and very efficient with the ball. Someone like Salah, you think you're giving Salah the balls, Bruno's giving Salah the balls, that, bro, his output is going to even increase even more, because now you're finding him in positions that the midfielders he's playing with now aren't seeing, and it's a quick transition. So I'm at the moment, I'm fine with Bruno. I have nothing negative to say about Bruno based on the player I know he is. Right? It's just fun to start calling people out sometimes, but
I agree. In terms of his captaincy, I have no issue with it because there's no one else there that I think we talked about Harry. No one wanted Harry to be captain. It's just like you said. It's just
We
fun.
like going around
Yeah.
in order and then blaming everyone. Then when everyone's finished, we're like, delete the club. It's just the way it is, man. I've abused Bruno, but I've had to step back and be like, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I think we've been consistent with Bruno throughout. We've all, even when he was putting up the numbers, performing well, and everyone was praising him. We've always talked about his lack of game management, and I think that's something that we've been consistent with, and that's not his like. And I do think he has improved with that lately with Amram, because I feel like he's the only one that can possibly do it within the team, but everything else around him is just as